So I recently got a question about my previous video about speed and genetics for speed. The question was, why in early development to late development do the fast kids, the kids that are really born fast, why do they stay fast and only get faster? So what I mentioned in my previous video is that real speed potential is only really seen after 5 to 8 years of correct training. So even though I say that genetics doesn't play that big a role always, and it's not an end all be all in being fast or not, there is a reason why fast kids, people that are born a bit more fast, tend to stay fast and only get faster. Fast kids tend to get way closer to that 5 to 8 year mark way earlier in their life. Being fast from a young age will result in being naturally selected in environments that will have you sprinting a lot. So let's say a real fast kid comes and goes to school and competes in school's athletics tournament. He's gifted with a bit of natural ability, so obviously he wins the tournament or he wins the little school athletics meet. He then gets selected for the school's athletic team to go run against other schools maybe. That entails a lot of training as well, so a lot of repetition, a lot of sprinting again. That will also entail more competitions where there will also be more types of sprinting. That same kid at a young age in youth level will go play rugby, for example, or maybe even football or whatever. And if the skill is decent, speed will be enough to make them excel really quick at that sport. So they will obviously go to that sport and then they'll excel at it because they are naturally quick. Or they'll probably get selected for positions that will have them sprint more. So if you're a rugby player, maybe they'll put you on wing more, maybe they'll put you in positions that have you sprinting more. And if they maybe excel even more, maybe they'll go to regional trials or whatever. And the amount of sprinting that kid will build up is so much more than the kid who, for example, at the first athletics meet never really got further than anything. Maybe it was 8th, 9th. That kid will not sprint nearly as much in a year in the next 4 or 3 years to come as much as the first kid who was naturally fast. And the catch is that it doesn't mean that kid necessarily doesn't have the best genetics for speed. It could be that with proper development, 3 to 4 to 5 years even, you might see amazing potential for speed in that kid. But by the time they hit high school, the fast kid has probably had so many extensive years of sprinting in their background that the kid who didn't have any of those things starting, maybe speed, natural speed as an ability starting their career, would have fallen back so far behind the fast kid in that cycle. And I think that's where a lot of the time it comes from, that you're either fast or you're not fast. But really, when you look at it from this type of adaptation thing, you see, kids might be the lucky punch. The fast kid is the lucky one because he starts off fast. But the magic lies in what happens after that, when they get naturally selected to go and sprint a tons more after that. And that is really what makes this huge gap between the kids later on when you get to high school and you see the fast kids and non-fast kids. And my job as a coach and other jobs as coaches, which a lot of people miss, is to actually still try and develop that. But that goes amiss when we as coaches still believe in this running laps and a lot of high rep stuff and never looking at speed. And I think it's become a trend sometimes to even periodize speed. You see that you cannot build these insane backgrounds of sprinting that is necessary, that is also super necessary at youth level, which should be, if you're involved with any type of youth, should be a part of your program constantly. That is why fast kids tend to stay fast. But I don't even want to call the slow kids staying slow, because they aren't necessarily slow kids. You can have kids who have amazing potential for speed, but it's unmade or unseen due to the lack of good training.